camera remained on the moon. A malfunctioning 500 EL used during Apollo 15 was sent back for troubleshooting. Gunnar worked on the moon dusty model, making sure to save as much of the dust as he could. He's one of the few humans to have a sample in his possession.
Little container. Very, very little. Okay. That is moon dust.
But enough about the cameras. Let's see some of the photos. Hasselblad received copies of the negatives from NASA, which they keep housed at the National Archive in Gothenburg.
And this is maybe the coolest of them all, the Apollo 11.
Time to geek out to some photos. Astronauts were extensively trained on the cameras and photography techniques, and it shows. Amazing slice of lunar history right here in Sweden. The first photographs from space weren't just scientifically and historically valuable. They were great PR for NASA and the space program, for environmentalism, but perhaps above all for human imagination and potential. Never before had humans been treated to an alien's view of their home, or, after Apollo 11, to another world altogether. And we want to see more. Not long from now, astronauts will return to the moon. And like the spacefarers before them, they will record the journey and take us along with them. From our view on Earth, it may seem like we're taking the same small steps. But looking out from the moon to Mars and beyond, it's clear that this is where we take another giant leap.
Look at these amazing views of Rome and this large metal dome. It looks like the perfect place to observe stars at night, isn't it? Well, it's not, because there's no telescope in there. Instead, there are books, plenty of books. Welcome to the National Institute of Astrophysics near Rome and to Space Roundup, your gateway to space. On the menu today, we check out on the most powerful telescope ever built, the Webb telescope. After a successful launch and a delicate unfolding in space, Webb has finally sent us its very first images of the universe. And they are stunning.
And from here at ESTEC in the Netherlands, the technical heart of the European Space Agency, we'll be exploring how humans are preparing to return to the moon for the first time since 1972. Before getting up to date on who's coming back and who's going to the International Space Station.
New astronauts are being selected as we speak, so we'll ask, what does it take to be selected among a pool of more than 23,000 applicants? And there's even more to come.
So stay with us.
It all started with a selfie. Just 2 months after its launch on Christmas Day last year, the James Webb Telescope sent us its very first image, a selfie showing a segment of its primary mirror. The photo was taken by a lens located inside the telescope, and it was used by scientists to check on the alignment of its instruments. Well, considering the James Webb Telescope is currently orbiting the Sun some 1.5 million kilometers away from Earth, this selfie is an extraordinary achievement. But Webb, as the largest and most powerful telescope ever sent into space, is already the telescope of superlatives. And indeed, after Webb completed its full deployment, the extraordinary happened. On 12th of July, the American president himself unveiled the very first image of a universe taken by Webb.
And now let's take a look at the very first image from this miraculous telescope.
This image is the deepest view of a universe ever captured by a telescope.
There are these galaxies that look stretched and pulled, kind of like they've been magnified because they've been magnified by the gravity of the cluster, just like Einstein said they would. And, you know, it's really, there's so much detail here. We're seeing these galaxies in a way that we've never been able to see before. There's just a sharpness and a clarity we've never had. And so we can look at, if we zoom in on this image, and I encourage you as you grab this image at home, like zoom in. You can, you know, really zoom in and play around. There are galaxies here in which you're seeing individual clusters of stars forming, popping up just like popcorn. And then we also see in the background of this image, kind of littered like jewels,